Hi guys, good evening. I know it's 6 o'clock. Let's give another minute before we start our session. There are a lot of other participants expected to join. Let's give another minute and then join us. Okay, I think we should just start our session. Good evening, everyone. My name is Suresh. I'm a chartered accountant. Very happy to meet all of you through this webinar. I hope you guys can see my screen. I'm sharing a screen to talk about the CPA, US CPA. I'm also going to request all of you to be, I'm going to give you the chance to unmute yourself. I've already given the permission. Whenever you have any questions, whenever you have any doubts, please feel free to unmute yourself and, raise your questions. And I would like to prefer to have this session as interactive as possible. Folks, feel free to unmute yourself as and when you think, you have a question. So welcome once again. We're going to just begin our session on US CPA. This is going to be 1 hour session, and there are a lot. This session is going to talk about the various details about the opportunities that US CPAs have, the kind of exams that are available for clearing your CPA exams, the subjects that has to be cleared before somebody can become a CPA, the procedures that has to be followed by the students to complete the US CPA, so on and so forth. So without much delay, let's jump into the webinar. So hope everybody can see my screen. Okay. And if anybody has any problem in seeing it, please do let me know. Yeah, this is the agenda for the day. And we're going to start off with a very interesting statistics about the benefits of becoming a US CPA. I'm sure all of you know that today the entire world is so flat that if that everybody is able to quickly move from one location to another, one country to another, unlike in the past where they have to do some courses which is exclusively meant for that particular country. Now, US CPA can be done anywhere. It doesn't have to be only in India. Not only in the US, you can write exams even in India now, all thanks to COVID. And people who are completing the US CPA in India are able to get jobs in India itself. And just before we go there, I would like to highlight a particular statement with respect to the um, uh, the statistics that were shared by AICPA. The AICPA says 75% of today's CPAs will be retiring in the next 15 years. Just guys, give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. So one of the participants was having a challenge, I believe. Anyways, so coming back to this, so this is a very interesting statistics. About 75% of today's CPAs will be retiring in the next 15 years. Guys, that shows the amount of opportunities that CPAs are going to have. Somebody is going to complete a CPA now, and next 10, 15 years, the amount of growth, the amount of income, the amount of salary, the amount of opportunities are going to be unbelievably high. And this is one of the statistics that is shared by AICPA. And AICPA is the board which regulates the entire CPA profession in the US. Okay, and in addition to that, as I said, that today the world is so flat that every individual who's living in different parts of the world has equal opportunity, which means they don't have to live in the US to be employed by any of the US companies, or to do the CPA and just join some companies in the US. I know a lot of my students, a lot of my friends who have done their US CPA have gone and joined companies in the US, in India, in Canada, in UAE, Australia, and so on and so forth. And that's the kind of advantages this course is going to have. So I just want to also highlight the list of skills that is in high demand. To begin with, we have lots of demand in the business and financial analysis role. A lot of opportunities and demand risk and compliance. When we talk about risk and compliance, one thing that comes to your mind is the SOX Act. I'm sure some of you must already be aware of this. SOX is nothing but the Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which mandates all the companies listing their shares or securities in the US stock market to have their records in line with SOX. There should be an audit done, there should be a proper controls, and so on and so forth. And it doesn't only apply to the US companies. If they have any branches or subsidiaries in India, in other parts of the world, even such subsidiaries and branches are supposed to be compliant with those provisions, which means, yes, they would, US companies look for those talents even in locations like India. So continuing the conversation on internal audit, there's huge opportunities in the audit world and also in the tax and treasury world. So these are the high level list of skills that is in demand. Now, when it comes to the benefits and opportunities, obviously, as I said, every foreign company listed on US stock exchanges need a US CPA for certifying, for designing their internal controls, certifying, ensuring the controls are checked properly, implemented properly, they are working effectively, and things like that. And also the opportunity of working in a global company provides global reputations and global recognition. Now I'm going to slowly move to the some slides to show the amount of opportunities that is available even in India. So some of the slides that we are going to show now consist of information about why should somebody look at doing their course of CPA. If you see this, one of the advertisements that is there was an opening for a VP financial controller. Barclays wanted a professional who was not just a CA. They were okay to even take a CPA. So which means in India, in addition, along with the CAs, CPAs are equally considered to be equal fit and suitable fit for these roles. If you go to the next slide, another opportunity for senior accountant from another company, McAfee. KPMG, for example, has huge demand for CPAs. I know a lot of folks, EY, KPMG, PwC, they actually provide these opportunities. They consider a lot of people who have done CAs and CPAs to be recruited in their back office functions. There's another leading company in Hyderabad which was looking for a CPA for internal audit department. Another opportunity in Amazon. One more opportunity in one of the energy companies. Look at this, an opportunity in UAE. They were looking for a CPA. Look at the CPA for internal audit, for internal auditor, audit manager role in UAE. So this is just another one from Dubai. These are just an example of the opportunities that is available for the individuals in the after they complete the CPA. So, okay, now we get into the most important topic, that is how to complete your CPA exams. What are the procedures that need to be followed, and what are the subjects that you need to be comfortable with. First and foremost thing that I would like to highlight is US CPA license is available only with the help of only when somebody completes their exams. And of course, that comes through education. And also you need to have some experience of a couple of years before you can apply for a license. So, and remember, examination is all regulated by US CPA, but you have to first enroll with a particular state which recognizes your degrees, BCom or MCom or MBA or CA or CS, as and makes you eligible to give your exams. So we'll start talking about those items in next slides. So the very first thing about the education is you need to have some pre-qualifications to get your CPA licenses or CPA exams. The first expectation is that generally most of the states in the US expect students to have at least 150 credit hours. That is at least 5 years of college education, which means MCom, MBAs are generally eligible to are eligible for taking up the CPA. But doesn't mean that BComs are not considered. There are lots of institutions, a lot of states which do consider BCom degree as sufficient to give your CPA exams. So here, a few states allow 120 hours and less, which means your BCom exam or BCom qualification is sufficient in some states. So I'm just showing some of the examples where BCom is accepted by states like California, Tennessee, and Virginia. Okay, and another combination like BCom and MCom. BCom MBA is accepted in Alaska, or BCom plus CA or CWA in California is accepted. Alaska is accepted. BCom plus CA Inter is also accepted. In fact, I did my CPA in Colorado State Board of Accountancy. Their Indian CAs are accepted. Intermediate is sufficient to give your exams in Colorado State Board of Accountancy. But I would also request all of you to please make a note of this becker.com/state, where you will be able to make out from this what are the prerequisites in each of the states. Like if you see, California has its own requirements, Texas has its own requirements, Colorado has its own requirements. So every state has its own set of requirements. So first and foremost step that everybody should be doing is first find out where you are eligible, which state allows you to give your CPA exams. That's very important, very, very important. And I also suggest you can talk to EduPristine. I'm sure those guys have the experience of talking to the students and understanding the requirements, and they also will be able to look for the right state which can help you in identifying this and in identifying the right state for giving your CPA exams. Okay, now we go to the very interesting step. Once you have identified the state where you are eligible, we have to then apply. You have to first apply for apply as a student. First of all, they should be accepting you as a student of that particular state. Once you have become qualified, you need to start preparing, then apply for writing your exams. Guys, we will talk about the number of papers and things like that in the next slides, but this is just a step-by-step procedure of how to become a CPA. Once you have identified that you're eligible, you're qualified to be a student of, say, for example, California, you give your application to California, you request them to accept your application, they approve it. Then you need to also be, after making payments for the exams, you will have to get something known as NTS, which stands for Notice to Schedule. NTS stands for Notice to Schedule. What exactly does NTS mean? It means that you are taking a permission from the state that you are now going to give your exams. You want them to give you permission to let you write the exam. It could be any paper that you are choosing. You can apply for the audit paper or business paper or regulation paper or finance paper as per your preparedness. You can ask them. You need to first apply for this NTS. And remember, you need to apply this for every paper. So this, some states give it for 3 months, while some give it for 6 months. So that can also be one of the basis for you to choose a state that you have to be associated with. So once you have got the permission, of course, if I was you, I wouldn't even do this. I will first prepare. Once I'm eligible, I'll prepare for the test, then apply for the notice. Then after I prepare, I schedule a time and date for my exams. So once I am prepared, go to the Promatric Center, which is nothing but a center for conducting all our CPA exams. And you don't have to carry your paper, pen, and things like that. It's going to be computer-based exam. You have to just know how to use the keyboard and mouse and just start answering the questions. Once you clear it, you have just 4 papers. Once you clear it, you have to just take the ethics exams and get the experience, and you become a CPA. That's all, as simple as this. It's not like Indian CAs or Indian CWA courses. This is going to be very straightforward. And as I said, there will be just 4 papers that you have to write. Once you complete your 4 papers, you're ready to get your experience and write your ethics exams, and you are a CPA thereafter. That's it. So with that, I think we've covered the most important topic. Now I'm going to get into the relevant section on what are the papers, which subject that you have to be covered studying, what does it have, and things like that. In fact, there are only 4 subjects, only 4 papers that one should clear. One is auditing and attestation, business environments and concepts, financial accounting and reporting, and lastly, regulation. When I say auditing, business, financial, and regulation, this is just order in which we have written. Doesn't mean that somebody who wants to write the financial accounting and reporting first is not allowed to write unless he writes first 2 papers. No, you are free to write any paper that you are comfortable with. You can write accounting first, then you can write auditing, then you can write regulation, then you can write business, or you can write business first, then go to auditing, or you write auditing first, you go to regulation next, then business, then FAR. It's left to you. You can write any paper first, any paper, second paper, third paper, fourth paper. There's no restriction of which order you should be going. You're free to do it. Next, there are 72 multiple choice questions when it comes to auditing. When I say multiple choice questions, these are nothing but your Kaun Banega Crorepati type of questions, KPCs, which means you're going to be given a question and there is also given, there will be 4 choices, which means the answer is already revealed. You need to just choose the right answer. That's all. They've already given you the answer. You need to just choose the right answer. And 72 MCQs are going to come. There will be 8 task-based simulations. When I say simulations, it means more of a situational questions. They'll give you a situation. They'll ask you to answer those questions. Very simple. Very, very simple. You don't have to worry about, any kind of typing there, any kind of writing there. But when it comes to business, in addition to the MCQs of 62 and 4 task-based simulations, you have 3 written communication, which means this is the only paper where somebody needs to be comfortable in their communication, in their English, written English. This is the only place, somebody has to be really quick in typing. Okay. While other papers, you need to know the answers to the questions, the situation, and you need to know the answers to those questions. And the best part of this task-based simulation is you will also be given various series of answers and you just have to choose the right answer. As simple as that. I don't think, you are going to get anything more easier and comfortable than this structure. Okay. So any questions, people? Anybody has any doubts, any questions, anything that you want me to answer, repeat, please do let me know. I've allowed all of you to unmute and speak. Feel free to talk. If this is an opportunity for you to learn about this course, please. Any questions? No? Okay. So we move to the next slide, which talks about the structure, the current version of the examination. The examination revolves around expecting the students to have knowledge on professional and ethical responsibilities. They are expected to have higher cognitive skills, have knowledge on business environment and business processes, have excellent or effective communication skills, and professional skepticism. These are the core expectations of the CPA exams. And when it comes to the skill levels, the level of remembering understanding is the least, while what is expected is more of evaluations and analysis and applications, which means memorization or mugging up certain things is not at all required in the CPA course. Unlike in our Indian system where we used to, in our schools and colleges, a lot of times, I remember, we used to just memorize certain sections and go. That is not needed anymore. When it comes to these professional courses, you need to understand the concepts. You have to remember the concepts, while you need to know how to apply them, analyze them, and evaluate them and apply to a particular situations. So the test will be based on these skills and less of memorization. And I also want you to look at the type of questions that is generally provided in the CPA exams. If you see auditing, the remembering understanding is about 30 to 40%, while application, analysis, and evaluation is the rest 70 to 60%. When it comes to the business, there's no evaluation. It's all, just about 15% to 25% of business knowledge, the remembrance, while application is the maximum. In fact, when I say business, guys, it includes most of cost accounting, economics, little bit of economics. It is a lot of cost accounting. Okay. And when it comes to FAR, the best part of FAR, I really like this. I really envy that I was not able to study this when I was doing my CPA. In fact, this FAR topic subject that you're going to cover includes both US GAAP and IFRS. What I mean by that is the entire syllabus revolves around US GAAP. So when you're going to give your exams, the questions are going to come primarily from US GAAP. Parallelly, the students are going to be trained, will be educated under IFRS also, which means once you complete this FAR, you will be knowledgeable not only from the US GAAP perspective, but also from the IFRS point of view. So this is a great thing, about FAR. And the best part of this FAR paper is, of FAR subject is, the way the subject has been created is, you will not be getting confused as to which one is applicable under FAR, what is applicable under IFRS. The way it is structured is, you will be given the paper, the entire book is prepared under US GAAP, but wherever there are differences, wherever the concepts are different under IFRS, the same is highlighted. Just to give you an example, LIFO method is not accepted in IFRS, but it's allowed in US GAAP. So wherever it's not accepted, they say IFRS doesn't permit a LIFO method. Or for example, revaluation model is not allowed under US GAAP. It's allowed only under IFRS. That's allowed there. So you will see wherever there are differences, the material clearly articulating that this is applicable, while IFRS doesn't permit this, and IFRS has new provisions which is not covered under US GAAP, and so on and so forth. So that's a kind of advantage that you're going to have when you're going to prepare for FAR. And you see the amount of understanding and remembrance, just about 10%, but more knowledge is expected in the way you're going to apply that knowledge that you have. Remember, application is very, very important. Likewise, when it comes to regulation, it's all equally distributed because regulation is all about law, right? Income tax, corporate taxes, and the estate taxes and such like that, business law and things like that. So you need to be prepared to remember the relevant provisions and also know how to apply those provisions and analyze those provisions. So this is the kind of questions that is expected generally provided in the CPA exams under respective subjects. Any questions, people? Anybody has any questions, please unmute yourself and let's talk. Okay. Silence again. Okay, I'll move on to the next topic. I'm going to just talk about the list of contents. And in fact, I think I already started off with the FAR, right? I told you about FAR. You're going to cover both US GAAP and IFRS. And if you see this, there is a section on local and state government accounting also, in addition to the normal US GAAP standards that applies to the business partnership firms, sole proprietorship firms, not-for-profit entities, private companies, public companies, and so on and so forth. Likewise, when you see the auditing, the weightage is about 20 up to 25% of weightage is on professional responsibilities, ethics, and general principles. What I mean by that is the US CPA expects the students to be well versed in SOX, SEC rules, ASCPA professional code of ethics, and things like that. Then you also are expected to have knowledge on how do you perform the audit, like audit planning, audit estimations, evidences, how do you give your conclusions, how do you give your opinions, what are different types of opinions and things like that. When it comes to the business, as I said, there is a lot of economic concepts, plus there are a lot of financial management. When I say financial management, it's all about costing. Plus you also have information technology. So everything is covered in this one paper. You got economics, you got cost accounting, you got operations management, and IT also covered in this. So what is the minimum score required to pass an exam? 75 out of 100. 75 is a minimum that is needed. When it comes to the regulation, of course, as I said, the regulation covers topics like, individual taxes, corporate taxes, S corporations, C corporations. You also have business law, you have professional responsibilities and ethics and stuff like that. Okay, these are the only 4 papers, guys. It might sound a bit difficult. It might sound to be very, very easy also. I wouldn't say it's very simple. At the same time, I won't say it's very hard also. It is definitely not difficult. It is not impossible. It requires certain amount of efforts, because it's a professional course. You all are required to, understand that these are professional educational courses, which means you are expected to have the professional knowledge, which means you cannot just take things so lightly and go. You need to go to the exam well prepared, which means to go to the exam hall with that knowledge and with that confidence, you need to choose the right material for giving your exams. In fact, even before I start talking about the Becker, I can tell you that I was working for Infosys and I was in the US about 15 years back, and I did my CPA about 15 years back. And I was a student of Becker, and I was so happy that I was enrolled with a Becker as a student because the material, the content, the quality of the videos, the question, the MCQs are prepared. They help you really to become the best when it comes to the exams. They ensure that you are thorough in what you're preparing, you're thorough in the concepts, and you know what you're going to be expecting in the exam, and you're well prepared before you can actually go there to the exam hall. And these are these are blueprints, and I don't want to really talk and waste time on this, but I want to focus on this exam timeline next. Okay, this anonymous attendee is asking a question: the exams are in what form, like objective or subjective? Further, do we have facility to open book examination? No, there is no question of keeping your books open and search for the answers. However, there are some questions in the exams where you're given where you can actually search for those sections. If I have to give you an example, say there's a paper in regulation where they ask you quote the section. For example, they ask you, please quote the section about a particular provision. You have an option to search in the system itself. You just have to search and you can get an answer, you can copy paste an answer. That is allowed, but you cannot take your physical book. That's not allowed. So what kind of questions is subjective or objective? It's both. It's both. It's both. Okay. Yes, Indrajit, you want to ask some questions? You unmuted yourself. Okay.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Good. Guys, we'll move to the next important topic, okay, about the exam timelines. In fact, as I said, you don't have to write the subjects or the papers in the same order. You can choose any paper that you want. So the question that may come is, does it mean that I can write any paper anytime that I want? The answer is yes. It's not like our Indian system where you have to go to the exam hall. You will have to, today you have to write one paper, second paper, second day, third paper, third day, fourth paper, fourth day. No, nothing like that. You can choose one paper in this today. You write one paper, 25th of June. Good. You get your results on, say, 1st of August. Good. Then write one more paper in the month of August or December. Then write one more paper in the month of next March. Then one more paper in the month of next June. Wow, it's allowed. But only catch that you have to remember is you are given 18 months from the time you get your first section or clear your first paper, which means, let's take an example. Any subject that is easy, let's take business is the most easiest subject of all the 4 subjects. People love to write that as a first paper. So business is BEC is the first paper that's written, and let's assume the results are out on, let's take, this is 1st of August, okay? Let's take, this is 1st of August, you get the results. So from 1st of August 2021, 18 months is given to write the rest of the 3 papers. So literally you have got 18 months plus 2 or 3 months, 21 months to give your 4 papers. But I know this, once you have enrolled, you shouldn't even take more than a year. Maximum time is 1 year to give you 4 papers, and by end of 1 year you should have completed all your 4 papers and say goodbye to those exams and focus on your career. I know a lot of my students, they've completed within 1 year, maximum 1.5 years. I myself took just 8 months to complete my 4 papers, and I was working. I'm not joking. I was working, I was employed. At the same time, I was studying. I was living in the US, and I was able to do both. I was all alone. So if somebody is planning to give you exams, please remember that you have 18 months in totality after you get your first marks, first subject results, to complete the rest of the 3 papers. So what happens if in case somebody doesn't complete the 3rd paper, the 3 papers? Let's assume somebody writes business and by end of the 18 months, you don't complete the third paper, then the countdown starts from the second paper. That's all. Which means you have to write your thesis again, which I don't think, it's very, very exceptional cases, but I don't think you need to worry about writing those things. But remember, this is a timeline and you can be smart and pretty sure you will be able to complete this within a maximum period of 18 months from the time of completing your first paper, which means literally you have 2 years, man, or more. It all depends on when you give your first paper and the results come out. Got it? Any questions here? Indrajit or Anand Kulkarni, Akshaya, anybody has any questions? Please do unmute yourself and ask this. I love teaching about all these guys. This is my passion of teaching. So make use of this. I want people to be successful. I want people to take up these courses. No questions? Yes, Indrajit, tell me.
Yeah, all clear as of now. Please proceed further. Thank you.
Good. So guys, the next slide is all about the number of, the details about the score release date. For example, if you're giving an exam in April or May, okay, the results are generally out by, 17th of August. And if you take the exams on or before 10th of September, I don't think these are relevant, but just information. You can Google it and you can get this answer. And these are the details about if you take exams before 23rd, when you can expect your results, March 31st, 9th of April, things like that. Okay. Now coming to this interesting multi-stage testing, I just want you to look at this. This is an interesting one. The format of your question papers. The question paper will have, all the 4 papers are 4 hours paper. All 4 papers, okay? And as I said, some subjects have got 3 task-based simulations, some have got 4 task-based simulations, some has got 3 multiple choice questions and things like that, right? So what I'm trying to explain is the general rule that is applied when it comes to giving break. So there are testlets, the first testlet and second testlet, which will have MCQs alone. And you don't have, after the first testlet is completed, you want to take a break, feel free to take it. But unfortunately, the time doesn't stop. The clock doesn't stop. It's going to keep running. Let's assume that, you have taken about 45 minutes and you want to use a toilet or washroom immediately. Just go and you spend 5 minutes and come back. Then your 5 minutes is lost and you have to take your second testlet. Already you have already spent 50 minutes. Similarly, after the second testlet, you want to take a break, you can do so. But again, remember, the time keeps running. But after the first simulation, after the first TBS, task-based simulation, you're given a mandatory break, which is a good thing. Once you take a break, which means after 3 testlets, there is a mandatory break, while you are given an option to take breaks in between, but the time doesn't stop. So keep this in your mind. And these are very important points that you have to remember, because when somebody is going to be writing their exams, I'm pretty sure as student, we will be in so much of tension. So we will be nervous, we'll be so worried. So it's because, of 30 questions, we may be very happy with 27 questions, but 2 or 3 questions, we are not doubtful. Tension hota hai. We all will get worried. And we may have to use a washroom. We want to go wash our face and come. We want to drink some water, whatever. We want to take a quick break and come back. Don't worry. This is what happens. But if you want to live in between, I don't think that's allowed. No, the test will get locked. Okay. Please keep this in mind. But I didn't have this option. Okay. You have a mandatory, break, which was not available to me. Okay. I mean, the things are changing. It's evolving. And I'm just going to show some slides where I'm going to start showing the samples of MCQs, samples of task-based simulations, samples of, how the exams will look like, or exam screens. If you see, this is an example of a simulation. When I say simulation, I told you, right, it's more of a situational questions. They give you a situation like this. In New York, New York, August 2nd, 8th, 9th year, the company, blah, 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 blah. They give you the entire story of the situation about revenues. They also give you about income. They give you details they give you all stories. And finally, they highlight something. They ask you, choose the right answer. Boss, they have given you a situation. They have given you a problem. They also give you an answer, and you have to choose the right answer. That is what is the simulation problem is all about. Wow. Can you get anything so simpler, boss? Problem we have, Solution be here, you just have to type that. Choose this. Either you want to delete this or keep this, you want to change this language, you got to choose it. That's it. This is all about the simulations. Similarly, there's another example. Somebody asked about, can I take my book and write the exams? Answer is no, right? But I'm going to show a situation where the question is, please type the standard, accounting standard. FASB is nothing but the accounting standard. ASC is your accounting standards code. The question is, please type the code number. You will have an option to search. You don't have to memorize all this. You'll have to just put this question situation. The code will come. You just have to click it. It will automatically get typed, automatically get selected. As simple as that, people. Okay, this is a very interesting slide. Something very, very I like the most. And this is, this needs to be updated. This is nothing but the list of, the details about the pass percentage of, various papers. I'm telling you, this is a global number. This is not only for India. This is a global CPA pass percentage. If you see auditing, on average, it's about 55% of the people are cleared. If 10 people writing it, almost 6 people are clearing it. Business, the most easiest paper I told you, right? You see 67.8, almost 68% of pass percentage. FAR, 53%, regulation about 64%. And if you see I would look like the average, not at these things, but you see what it literally says is, boss, you have more than 50% chance of clearing exams. And I would also like to highlight that being Indians, I like to call out because we are hardworking people. We don't take things so lightly, and we don't like to take anything that we work on very, very lightly. We always give our heart and soul. We always want to give our best and ensure that we are the best, isn't it? So when we just take the data points only for the exams given by the Indians, I'm pretty sure this will be at least 10-15% more than what we're seeing. So literally, it is going to be about 65 to 70% chances that if you go and write exams, you have a chance to clear that in the very first go. Okay, guys. Remember, these are very interesting statistics and data points which will have to be considered to see what is the level of difficulties these papers could be, or these subjects or exams could be. And I'm pretty sure you are now convinced. You should be convinced by now that these are not as tough as what it seemed like, isn't it? Okay, there's another interesting statistic which says that students who are preparing with Becker have 2 times the pass rate than those who are not preparing with Becker. Okay, and now finally, I think there are. Anyways, before we go to this why Becker and all that, I want to open this forum for any questions. You guys have any questions, anything that you want to discuss, please feel free to ask. Anyone? Venkat? Yes, Govardhan Rajput. Tell me.
Yeah. Regarding, I'll go back to eligibility. Is there any age limitation?
No, I don't think there's any age limitations there. No, absolutely.
And number 2, I have graduated in 72 when it was 11 plus 4. So 15 years. So am I eligible? I have done my BCom and LLB.
Definitely. In fact, can I just request this forum to not ask any very personal question, because I won't be the right person to give you a right answer on whether you're eligible or not. But I would request you to please talk to these help desk, the EduPristine guys. I'm pretty sure they will be able to guide you. But generally what happens is a person with 150 hours of degree experience or knowledge in accounting is considered to be eligible. And age is not a problem.
Okay.
Nice question, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anand, want to go next?
Can I?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Do we need transcript of our educational credentials to submit to the state accounting bodies to
Yes.
get ourselves? Okay.
Yes.
So
you need to know, are you producing the right one and stuff like that. So yes, it's a must. And I think EduPristine helps you in all those things.
All right. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali. Yes, Anand, you have raised your hand. Would you like to please unmute and ask a question? Anand Kulkarni, you need to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Anand.
Can you please explain about the TBS kind of questions?
The TBS, is it? The task-based simulations? Yeah, these are task-based simulations, sir.
Okay.
When you say task-based simulation, it simply means they give you a task, they give you a situation. Then they'll ask you to explain, confirm whether the answer is right. In fact, if you see this situation itself, they're talking about this one item. The increase in sales general administration expenses was due to ongoing litigation with a former employee, resulting in an increase of $600 in legal fees during year 9. They're asking you whether this statement is correct after reading all the statements, all the situation, or do you think that should be deleted, or you want to change it to the increase in G&A expense was due to $511 unrealized loss recorded in March year 9. Only after you read it, and I don't want to get into this, it's not a situation. Okay, we have to choose the right answer. Let's assume that this is the right answer. You know, the increase in sales general administration was due to increase in the provision for income tax during the year 2009. Just click this. That's it. That becomes your answer, and that way you submit the answer. You replace this with that answer.
So for every questions there will be 4 choosing, right?
For every question, what, sir?
4 choosing of answer will be there.
Yes.
Okay.
Only in case of business.
Yeah. For this, another screen is shown. In that, yes, in this screen.
Yeah.
No. In this screen, there is no answer, right?
There is no answer, but there will be an option for you to search that answer. If you read this, it's asking you to mention the accounting standard that covers the situation.
Okay.
Which section of the literature defines how and when the company should recognize the annual fees revenue? So they're talking about revenue. So what you should do? You should go to revenue accounting standard. Just search for revenue. It will give you. There, if you start scrolling down on annual review revenue recognition, it will come. You just have to click it. Numbers will just automatically come and capture it.
Okay.
It's going to be very easy. I bet it's going to be so simple. I know how it was. You know, when I was a student, me and my friend, we both went to the exam hall with so much preparation for the audit paper. After writing the audit paper, we thought, it's not easy that paper. Because we were chartered accountants, we wanted to also do a CPA. So we prepared like a CA for auditing paper also. It was so simple. I bet it was so simple.
Okay.
So don't worry. I mean, don't go with that mindset. It was simple because we prepared. So unless somebody goes with that preparation, it's going to be really tough. Because you need to know what you're answering, right? Without getting prepared, if you just go to the exam one, I'm sure you cannot. Any other questions, Anand?
Yeah. I'm also working professional, and I will be too busy in my entire 5 days at least. Okay. So how much time we need to spend for this exam preparation approximately?
I think, you know what, if you can spend a couple of hours daily, and maybe 4 hours on Saturday and 4 hours on Sunday, you can complete your CPA within 8 to 10 minutes. It's doable. It's definitely doable. Daily you have to spend 2 hours, and that's it. 2 hours also both there. 1 hour is more than enough. But you have to ensure that what you're preparing is getting registered in your mind, and you are comfortable to give exams. Okay.
Can we have any previous sample question papers?
You'll get that once you enroll with Becker for this course. I'm sure they will supply everything. I'll just show you some of these samples. See why Becker and all is fine, but you see this is how the sample question paper will come. This is how the preparation. This is how you're going to prepare for your. This is how the questions will be appearing. You choose an answer. They say whether it's right or wrong. If it's wrong, why it is wrong. What should be the right answer? And they also give you an opportunity to do the mock exams. So this is how the question paper will look. Real life question paper will look like this. There will be so many questions. Once you have a doubt, you choose this. Highlight that particular section. After you complete everything, you come back. Before you submit the test list, you can play around with the test list. Once you have submitted the test list, you can open the test list. So this is how you will be able to, get complete hang of how the topic looks. In fact, just to talk about Becker, as I said, I'm a student, so as a student, I'm going to talk for Becker, nothing more. Okay, Becker is one of the best institutions because I was a student and I was able to clear everything in the first attempt. And the kind of material that you see, the kind of contents that is provided, the kind of MCQs, the kind of simulations and task-based simulations that is provided, everything will be so good that you don't need any extra material to refer and complete your course. Okay. And the best part is, there'll be recorded videos to talk about every content, every concept. Like, for example, this is an example of revenue recognition. where they speak about what is revenue recognition, what are the different conditions that should be fulfilled by a company before a revenue is recognized, and things like that. And these are recorded, and you can check it anytime that you want. Up office में break मिल गया, then you can always go and open the laptop or your phone. You can open the app and you can just see it, and that's all helpful. I remember one of my students telling me that one of my recorded versions that was available on with EduPristine about FAR, that is what he uses when he commutes from his house to his office, and while coming back from the office to the his house, because those recorded version was more helpful for him. So which means the sessions that you're going to attend will be either virtual or physical with EduPristine, and they help you to have those recorded version made available to the students, and you guys will be able to score really well.
Okay. And I hope there will not be any negative marks.
No,
Like,
that's a great point. No, Anand, absolutely no negative points. If in case something goes wrong, so be it. That's it. And you don't have to worry about negative points.
okay.
Great questions, Anand. Wonderful. Any other questions, Anand?
Sorry?
Any other questions you have?
No, sir.
Thank you,
Thanks.
sir.
Thanks.
Indrajit Singh, I think you raised your hand again. You want to have any?
Sorry, apologies. Like I'm asking again.
No.
I have three questions. Like, I mean, will we be able to use add CPA after our name once we pass all of the 4 exams, or do we need to, I mean, undergo some other procedural requirement? Like, I mean, after passing exams, we need to undergo certain internship period, or blah blah. I mean, so as to enable us to write CPA after our name.
Okay. To get that CPA degree, CPA title, there are 2 things. One is your exams. After you complete the exam, there is a ethics paper of a particular state. If, for example, you are enrolling with California will have a paper called ethics paper that you have to clear. Once you clear it, you need to have at least 2-3 years of experience of having worked and once that is done, you are eligible to get a license.
Apologies, I couldn't get it. How many number of years?
It varies again. I think generally it's about 2 years to 3 years of experience.
Okay. No, like I'm carrying 17 years of the auditing experience with me. So will it count, or I mean, will it be?
I said more than enough.
More than enough. Okay. So, and this ethical paper, which was the question associated with this, my previous question, this will be a state specific question, right? Test, right?
Correct.
So, okay. So, does ethics vary from state to state in United States?
Generally no, because in fact, you will see in your auditing paper itself, the rules that is applicable to almost all the states are covered. General ones, but there will be something unique, and I'm sure once you complete your CPA exams, when you want to write your ethics, you will be able to handle that also without much difficulties.
Right.
It's easy. Yeah.
Okay, great. One last question, hopefully, like this business communication, right? What sort of written communications are these? Are these writing of memorandums, writing of auditing reports, or?
It's not auditing reports. It will be more like a communication that you send it to the CFO of the company or CEO of the company, to a business situations, to your marketing head, or it could be any communication that you send it to the regulators and stuff like that. It's more like letters being exchanged or interpreting a given situation and giving your recommendations and things like that.
So it's intra-organization communications, right? Instead of inter-organization.
Right? It could be all.
It could be all. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much. You're very kind. Thank you.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you, Nijay. Okay, I still see Mr. Anand and Mr. Rajput raising their hands. You still have any questions, sir? If not, please, you can put down your hands. And guys, moving on with the the other stuff. I mean, additional products that's available with Becker. As I said, Becker, they're pretty good because they give you the recorded versions with the license to use it for for all the papers. You also get physical books. You also get a lot of flashcards, which means more important topics will be highlighted, that will be given, and you have additional MCQs that you can actually use for preparing for the particular papers and stuff like that. So this is how the system works. And I know EduPristine is one of the preferred, institutions by a lot of companies in the US and across the globe. If you see this, I remember almost all the leading firms like KPMG, PwC, EY, Deloitte, they actually have an association with EduPristine for multiple, professional courses. And what else? I think we spoke about this. Faculties are experts in the topic. Industry experts will come and sit with you guys. We'll talk about it, and they will explain what is not also there in the book from their experience of how they have given their exams. What kind of soft skills that you have to remember. What kind of attitude that you should carry when you're preparing for exams and stuff like that. And I think EduPristine also does a great job in ensuring 100% placement support. So I think that's a great thing. They help you in preparing your resume after you complete exams, get well prepared and for the interviews, and also help you in getting the placement leads. And last but not the least, learn with the best. And I would strongly recommend that, guys. I swear. As a student, I was really happy to be associated with Becker. It was just an accident. If I have to give you my story, I went to the US along with my friend, and we both were living there. And my boss is a great negotiator. He was able to get a deal with Becker. And those days it was $4,000 of fees for Becker. Those days, okay, about 15, 16 years back. And he got a deal that with $1,000, we could do all the food. We get registrations of these materials and stuff like that. So it was 1/4. So me and my friend immediately got enrolled. And along with my boss, we three started writing these exams. And it was a great journey thereafter. It was just giving those four papers, preparing with a lot of confidence. My roommate, the best part was me and my roommates, both of us were preparing there for the exam. So it was like a competition. Who's going to complete first? Who's going to prepare well? Who's going to do well? So finally, it really worked out for both of us. And both of us did extremely well. And it's amazing. It's nice to see that, Becker was one of the main reasons for me to be a CPA and my friend to be a CPA and my boss to be a CPA. So with that, I would like to say thanks to all of you. Unless you have any questions, anybody wants to ask anything else, please feel free to, unmute yourself and raise your questions. Okay, I think silence, I will take it as golden. No more questions. So I will now like to take this opportunity to thank all the members who took time to participate in this webinar. Thank you so much, people. And if you have yes, in the do you have anything to say?
I just want to offer my sincere gratitude for enlightening us to our pathway to CPA. Thank you very much.
I'm humbled, Indrajit. Thank you so much for your kind words. Means a lot. In fact, the intention of this webinar, I don't belong to EduPristine, okay, but at the same time, I love teaching. I've been teaching since my 9th standard. So because of my passion, I get associated with these institutions to talk about these courses, and I really like to see that you guys also enroll, take up these courses, and be a successful professional, and always give your best. And once you have decided, please don't look back, guys. There's no meaning in taking a course and quitting in between. You don't have to do it. We all are professionals. We all are grown-ups. Let's take up. Once you have decided to take it up, please proceed with it and do well. Yes, Kratika Gupta, you have a question? You want to share something? Yes, Kratika. I'm not able to hear you, ma'am. Sorry, madam. You want to type? I'm not able to hear you, Gupta. Anyways, thank you so much, folks. Have a lovely evening and weekend. Enjoy. Stay safe. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.